Hello, my name is Valeria Galindo. I'm doing my assignment on the NGO non-governmental organizations on Puente Movement, which is a grassroots organization for human rights based out of Phoenix, Arizona. So Puente is a migrant justice organization. They develop, educate, and empower migrant communities to protect and defend migrants, as well as undocumented folks. So, like I said, they're a migrant justice organization. Puente formed back in 2007 after the passing of 287G, which was an act that selected state and local law enforcement to participate and enforce federal immigration law over like the state law, as well as following whatever state laws that the state had in the context of immigration. So some of the things, the way that Puente does its work is by reaching out to communities that migrant communities, as well as the overarching community in Arizona, so Phoenix, Tempe. They do a lot of work here in the Valley, reaching out to different orgs as well as to the community to make them aware of the things that are going on and letting them know that there is something that they can do to fight the injustices that are happening to the migrant community. So some of the things that they've done, well, firstly, why is it important? Why I think it's an important issue that Puente is tackling, the issue of immigration and the injustices that are happening and that have happened and will continue to happen if we don't do anything about it to the migrant community by law enforcement and by unjust laws that are passed and put in place. It's an important issue, especially in the context of our country and the current narrative that is pushed forward about the migrant community. So, I mean, we've all heard it. We all know the issues that go on with immigration in our country. We are a country that receives a lot of immigrants for many different reasons. And we all know the narrative that our current administration has towards immigration, which is a very negative image and a non-welcoming perspective and position. So I think what movements like Puente and other organizations are doing is very important for the security of these communities, and to create advancements and progression in the way things revolving around the immigrant community will continue to happen. So some of the things that they have done or how they've done it, so I'm going to list off a few of the things that Puente has done and that Puente continues to do. So one of the things they started with back when they formed in 2007 with 287G as well as with SB 1070 was Puente versus Arpaio. So Puente versus Arpaio was a campaign or a program that they had going on, which was to stop the raids and the prosecution of migrant workers. So back then, when Joe Arpaio was sheriff of the Maricopa County, he would conduct raids on work establishments that had migrant workers in order to find undocumented people. So Puente did a lot of advocating for that, to stop that. Another thing that they did and that they continue to do work with is the Eloy Detention Center. So the Eloy Detention Center, for those that don't know, is located in Eloy, Arizona, down south near Casa Grande. It's a detention center for migrants, and it actually has the highest number of deaths in the U.S. For any detention center, and this is largely in part due to deficient medical care. So Puente has done advocating and work to try to get the Eloy Detention Center shut down, and at the very least have it be looked into to have a safer environment for those folks that are in that detention center. And another thing that Puente does with the Eloy Detention Center is that they do visits to people in the detention center who are alone, basically, who don't have family in Arizona, or they have no one to go visit them. They have members of the community, members of Puente, go visit these people, talk to them, see if they need any help contacting their lawyers, or really just having somebody be there with that person, let them know they're not alone and that there's people on the outside fighting for them and for their rights as well. One of the other programs that I was going to mention that Puente has done work for is Not One More Deportation. So one of the things they did for this was kind of a response to SB 1070, which was also another act that was passed in Arizona that would allow police officers to question the legal status of anyone that they pulled over or approached. So Puente did work in trying to introduce the AZ Trust Act to stop police and ICE collaborations within the state. So these are some of the things that Puente has done. I think, like any organization, there is things that they can improve on. One of the things that I believe they can improve on is reaching a larger community, because I think it is it's not too well known. At least for me, I only heard about Puente because of a friend whose parents are involved with the movement. So I think them being able to reach a larger community would help not only their movement, but it would help the people and the goals that they're trying to reach, because having more people involved means you reach more people, you have more power, because more people, it would be a larger voice that would be fighting for the same cause. So that is just the organization I wanted to present to everybody. Like I said, Puente is based in Phoenix, Arizona. So if it is something you're interested in, it's definitely something you should try to get involved in. Yeah.